Jersey Shareman am I, on a three-masted schooner from Twillingate Isle. I've been the world over, north, south, east and west, but the middle of nowhere's where I like it best.
Well, we're coming along the island of Nevis, part of St. Kitts. We're on the northeast end of Nevis, and then going through a channel between Nevis and St. Kitts. Should be anchored up in St. Kitts, Bastier, in about an hour and a half. Been a nice downwind reaching run, running 6 to 7 knots. Too much wind for the spinnaker. Beautiful day. Real nice view of Nevis, the top of it with its head buried in a sombrero cloud. An old shipwreck on the beach there. Well, we're working our way through the streets of St. Kitts with the #1 tour guide, Veronica. We're up the Botanical Garden, and then the Batik Factory, we're making traditional garments, and then Brimstone, quite a fortress we hear off the top of my head, so we'll check out St. Kitts for the afternoon. Independence Square. St. Kitts became independent some years ago, and this is their square in recognition of being an independent nation. So, Independence Square. Pretty nice, pretty park. Memorial, First and Second World Wars. Short stop for a little refreshing drink as kid chops the head off a coconut for a little thirst quencher as we head our way to the Botanical Gardens. This is a really cool site. This is just impressive. 1625 they started developing this. This was for sugarcane production. This was for the processing of sugarcane, and then after which the other side of it goes into making rum. Pretty interesting. They've got an aqueduct that comes down, and there's a chute. There's the chute where the water comes down and picks up the wheel, and there's just shaft connected to a mill where they process the sugar cane. It's pretty neat. A lot of great old history from the 1700s. We're looking at a mill. Here's where the pot stills were housed for distilling the sugar cane into rum. And the site of a 17th century rum distillery. We're just kind of strolling through the rainforest. We've left the site. Now we've left the site of the old distillery. I think we're just kind of walking up through a rainforest, walk up to a Batik Factory. Good to see how they make batik. Oh, we're looking through a small botanical garden that they've got right at the Batik Factory. Very well taken care of, very pretty. Lots of period flowers, and there is up into the Batik Factory. We'll give a stroll through there and then head on to Fort Brimstone. Well, we're at Fort Brimstone, or Brimstone Fortress. Just an incredible piece of Caribbean history and the history of St. Kitts. This was built in the early 1600s, mostly by slaves, and it took like 100 years to finally totally build it. St. Kitts really didn't have any defensible harbors, so they built the fortress as a place of refuge when they were raided St. Kitts was British. We're looking out of the Statia right now towards St. Martin Estate Barts. But St. Kitts was British, and you're looking out to the French side. Well, the French would raid the place, and they would go up here and hide out. There's all these cannons, and you look at this multi-tiered, multi-leveled facility or multi-leveled fortress, and it's just incredible the number of cannon slots and defensible positions that they have. It's just a really neat bit of history they have. This is climbing up to the upper fortress, and then this is looking down at just one of the several lower defensible positions, and you see all the cannon slots that they have. Descending into the fortress, imagine the millions of footsteps that have polished these stones. It's just really impressive, really impressive. The plantation owners and officials and lords would take refuge here when the French attacked. So that was kind of the purpose of it, and they fought some pretty good battles. One battle in which they finally, after months, overran the fortress. Powder magazines, barracks, just all kinds of structures for the troops. More cannon positions up top, beautiful vistas and views out in the distance at St. Kitts. Just such a incredible piece of history. A lot of old rocks, You can identify with those old rocks when you get to the Mediterranean. It's just incredible. And look at this stuff behind me. If I was in the Mediterranean, I'd be drinking wine, eating cheese, sitting in front of some old rocks. But here I am drinking a Carib, because we're in the Caribbean. So be it. Brimstone Fortress, St. Kitts. Quite an impressive place. Really glad we made this stop. Well, what's a tour without an afternoon stop for lunch? This is the Shipwreck Bar down at the south end of the island. Take a break, have lunch, and enjoy the beach and enjoy the scenery.
Okay, it's Sunday, February 8th. We're underway again. We left St. Kitts this morning, and I'll pan around to the north, and we departed St. Kitts in the distance, and we got a little post haul, and we're making our way to Nevis. And Zoran's enjoying the ride. We got a bit of an overcast, so nice and comfortable. There's Lance and Robert. Robert and Bob joined us yesterday, and they're going to be with us for the next couple weeks, just enjoying Caribbean sailing. That's it. Drinking Carib and take the lens cover off.
Well, we're in Nevis, Crown Point. We happened to sail in and anchor up just in the middle of these Hobie Cat races, and it was crazy because I set the anchor and then we drifted back. Anchor didn't set into the race course, so I had to dive down, drop the anchor, and then I had to dive down and actually position it in the grass so they could back up and get it to take. And it was a fight, but we finally got a good anchor. But in Nevis, enjoyed it. I never did get a chance to properly introduce Robert and Bob, the father and son duo that joined us yesterday in St. Kitts. They're going to stay with us till St. Lucia. Well, it's evening in Nevis. Went ashore and watched the kids finish their racing, and St. Kitts won the Hobie Cat races against Nevis today, so that was pretty cool. Back to the boat. The sun will be hitting the horizon here in the next 15 minutes, so we're going to watch a beautiful sunset. Glass of wine, and I changed into my evening wear. That's how we're chilling out.
And to sail the salt sea, boys, to sail the sea. There's no other life but to sail the salt sea.